Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, welcome to weekly Buddhist news in English on Phật online channel. There are 5 major news of the week. Hanoi, Government Committee for Religious Affairs and Public Security congratulates Vietnam Buddhist Sangha for its 39 years of establishment. Vĩnh Long Administrative Board of Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha organized Thiện Hoa Ordination SIMA in Buddha Year 2564 Solar Calendar 2020. Bắc Ninh Three Jewel Shrine groundbreaking and PAGODA-ENTRY ceremony held at Kim Ngưu Pagoda. Ho Chi Minh City, Ox and Box Fiesta organized at CANDARANSI Temple. Nights of candle lighting to pay tribute to a Central Prison. Quảng Nam, the Buddhist Guide Council gave 250 gifts to people in flood plain. Ho Chi Minh City, An Lạc Pagoda organized the brain reciting 500 gram appellations of GUANYIN BODHISATTVA. And the following are the news in detail. Over the past 39 years, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha has grown strongly and made a great contribution to the social life, maintaining cultural value, history, tradition, and social charity activities. On the mornings of November 3, 2020, at the main office of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Quang Sư Pagoda, the Government Committee for Religious Affairs visited and congratulated the 39th anniversaries of the establishment of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, November 7, 1981, July 7, 11, 2020, and the ceremony to award the national flag to Vietnam Buddhist Sangha.
Welcoming the delegation, there were Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu, Permanent Vice Chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Council, Most Venerable Thích Gia Quang, Vice Chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Council, Head of the Information and Communication Section, Most Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman, General Secretary of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, and related dignitaries. On the side of the delegation of the Government Committee for Religious Affairs, there were Mr. Vũ Chiến Thắng, Head of the Government Committee for Religious Affairs, Mr. Đỗ Văn Phớn, Deputy of the Central Committee for Mass Mobilization, Ms. Trần Thị Minh Nga, Deputy of the Government Committee for Religious Affairs, Colonel Nguyễn Tiến Trọng, Deputy of Department AO2, Ministry of Public Security, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Thanh, Head of Religion Committee, Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee, Mr. Hoàng Bá Hai, Deputy of Religious Division, Committee for Mass Mobilization. Mr. Vũ Chiến Thắng sent congratulations to the leaders of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and all monks and nuns, Buddhist followers. Through 39 years of establishment and development, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha has affirmed its position and role in the congregation of monks and nuns, dignitaries, and Buddhists to unite them under the common roof of the Sangha, actively contributed to the cause of national construction and defense. Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu thanked the delegation and affirmed that the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha would continue to guide monks and nuns and Buddhists to comply with the Sangha's charter and the law provisions. The Government Committee for Religious Affairs awarded the national flag to the Central Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Mr. Vũ Chiến Thắng emphasized that the national flag has a very sacred meaning as a national symbol. The national flag raising at religious establishment is a fine traditional cultural beauty of the nation. Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu says, Buddhism always accompanies the people. At the large and small ceremonies, there are always the national flags and Buddhist flags. At present, the flag of the homeland has been spread to all worshipping facilities nationwide. At the end of the ceremony, the reverend dignitaries and members of the Government Committee for Religious Affairs held the flag salute and took group photos for memory of the occasion. On the same day of the 3rd of November 2020, the Internal Security Division, headed by Colonel Ngô Chí Dược, Head of Internal Security Division of the City Police in Hanoi, as a team leader, Major Lê Tùng Anh, Head of Internal Security Division, and members of the delegation also congratulated the 39th anniversary of the establishment of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Colonel Ngô Chí Dược, on behalf of the Hanoi City Police, Corps conveyed the congratulations to the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha on its 39th establishment anniversary. Colonel said that the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and the Hanoi City Police Corps had coordinated very well in large and small events in the city. The monks and nuns Buddhists always promoted the tradition of protecting national security, contributing to stabilizing social order. He hoped that the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha would develop more and more, and also sent his best wishes to the Sangha monks who had been serving the Dharma, the Buddhist fulfillment.
Pre-ordination SIMA in a significant event Buddhism because the selections of the lineage of Buddhism is performed through this event. The Great Ordination SIMA of Thiện Hoa in Buddha year 2564 Solar Calendar 2020 were organized by Administrative Boards of Vĩnh Long Provincial from 2nd to 5th November 2020 at Phước Hậu Temple and Phật Tánh Pagoda in Vĩnh Long Province.
On the afternoon of November 3, 2020, the permanent monks of the organizing committee, the provincial Buddhist ceremonial section, the control board, and the hermits of the precepts travel and gather at the ordination SIMA of Phước Hậu Pagoda, Vĩnh Long Province, to hold the reception of the Council of 10 Masters who came to Thiện Hoa ordination SIMA. In witness at the ordination SIMA, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Minh Thông, member of the Administrative Council, Deputy Head of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Karma Master Teacher, and the monks, dignitaries of the Standing Committee of the Administrative Board of Vĩnh Long Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Most Venerable Thích Phước Tú had a few words of encouragement to introduce the 10 Examiner Board of Phật Tánh Pagoda, Vĩnh Long Province. Master NINH Thích Nữ Như Minh obeyed the Dharma, requested the Dharma deity, and moved the image of the late Most Venerable Thích Thiện Hoa to the ordination SIMA of Phật Tánh Pagoda. On November 4, 2020, at the ordination SIMA of Phước Hậu Pagoda, there was a ceremony of securing the position of the Council of the 10 Monks Examiners. Then they performed the ordination for 137 monks and 120 novices. In order to make the ordination SIMA solemn and pure, the ritual committee in turn appealed to the Venerable of the Council of 10 Examiners. Accordingly, the organizers invited Most Venerable Thích Trí Quảng, First Deputy Dharma Master, cum Superintendent of the Council of Patrons, the leader of the Bhikkhuni. Most Venerable Thích Phước Tú, the Venerable leader of hermits, and the monks also invited Most Venerable Thích Minh Thông, to elect cum lawyer. After the rite of serving, the disciples paid their kowtow to the Most Venerable. The monks of the Council of 10 Masters sincerely need to pray to the noble precepts. The venerables of the Council of the 10 Monks, the Sangha, the main shrine, pay tribute to the three jewels and solemnly transmit the Dharma precepts to the disciples. Before the ordination of the sect to impart the Dharma precepts, the first Most Venerable monks had given the precepts to the disciples and solemnly performed the ritual of transmitting the Bower to the disciples. On the morning of November 3, 2020, at the Buddhist school of Phật Tánh Pagoda, there was a ceremony of the palace of the 10 monks and nuns. In order for the great precepts to be solemn, the committee of the monarchs in turn invited the three teachers masters, heading Venerable, the Karma Master Teacher, and 7 invigilators of examination at the audience SIMA for nuns. After the solemn ceremony of welcoming the profile image of the late Most Venerable Thiện Hoa, the late Master, the nuns chanted to offer the incense to create the Buddha. The novice monks had the opportunity to welcome the venerable monks of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Vĩnh Long Province, who came to witness and encourage the nuns. The organizers had invited Most Venerable Thích Minh Thông, the Karma Master Teacher, who initiated the precepts for non-novices. At the end of the day, there was an examination that awarded the students with good results, and at the same time, those who had chanted sutra in the propitiation.
On the mornings of November 1st, 2020, the monks of Kim Ngu Pagoda, Bắc Ninh Province solemnly held the groundbreaking ceremony to build three jewel shrines and the ceremonies of pagoda-entry for Venerable Thích Giác Giáo, new abbess of the pagoda.
In witness, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu, prominent vice chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Council, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, vice chairman and general secretary of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Council, Most Venerable Thích Thanh Điện, deputy general secretary of the administrative council, chief officer of the Office 1 of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, and reverend monks and nuns among the attendants. The ceremony also welcomed leaders at all levels, departments and unions. Professor Dr. Đỗ Đình Chiểu, who had been awarded the Legion of Honor, France, with the sponsors, intellectuals, and numerous Buddhists from near and far. Venerable Thích Giác Giáo, the abbot of the pagoda, delivered an opening speech and introduced the Kim Ngu Pagoda, an ancient temple built in the Gaopian time, Tang Dynasty, in the 9th century. The pagoda is associated with the legend of a golden buffalo flying to the west lake. People at that time saw the aura from the buffalo shining brightly and realized that this land was a sacred land, so they created and named the pagoda as Golden Buffalo, Kim Ngu. Over time, the current Kim Ngu Pagoda was no longer spacious enough to meet the needs of the Buddhist people. With the attention of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, leaders at all levels of the local government and people have created conditions for the Venerable to take care of the throne and rebuild the three jewels for Buddhists to have a place for ascetic practice. Mr. Nguyễn Xuân Thành, Deputy Secretary, Chairman of the People's Committee of Phật Commune, made a speech and hoped that the Abbot Venerable would develop the temple to be put into operation soon. In his blessing speech, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện hoped that Kim Ngu Pagoda would continue to receive support from the local authorities to restore the ancient temple of Kim Ngu, preserving the national cultural tradition. The ceremony ended after the groundbreaking ceremony, when attendants prayed for the three jewel shrine to be soon completed and put into operation.
On the mornings of October 30, 2020, a large number of Khmer people living and working in Ho Chi Minh City gathered at CANDARANSI Pagoda to attend on board FIESTA, a tradition of the Khmer ethnic people.
Attending the ceremony were Most Venerable Danh Lung, member of the Secretariat of the Administrative Council, Vice of the Office 2, Central Buddhist Sangha, Standing Member of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Ho Chi Minh City, the Abbot of Kandaransi Temple, together with monks and numerous Buddhists. Among the attendants, there were also representatives of local leaders. Most Venerable Danh Lung talked about the meaning of on board fiesta of ethnic Khmer and practiced moon worshipping rites. This is the traditional fiesta of the Khmer in the south. Most Venerable also advised the Buddhists to protect the environment and hoped that the festival would be more and more solemnly organized to bring together the brotherhood of ethnic groups. On this occasion, the Standing Committee of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee in District 3 and the Pro-Poor People Fundraising Board of District 3 supported 5 scholarships for 5 Buddhist monks who are studying in the local university and college. At the same time, the funding to support the Lao students studying in Vietnam was also dispersed, and 10 gifts were awarded to 10 poor Khmer ethnic households in the area. At the end of the program, there was a culinary event to make special cakes of various regions, prepared by the Fatherland Front Committee of Works, CANDARANSI Temple, and the Lao students to serve the Buddhist attendants and visitors.
Facing the faithful loss, the central people suffering the consequence of the natural disaster, the cultural sections of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, together with the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha District 12, solemnly organized a candlelight program toward the paths of the central region on the occasions of the days of GUANYIN BODHISATTVA in the evening of November 3rd, 2020 at KHANH, FRIARY, Ho Chi Minh City.
Attending in solemn atmosphere, There were Most Venerable Thích Chỉ Anh, patron of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha District 12, Venerable Thích Quang Thạnh, member of the Administrative Board, Vice Chief of Office 2 of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Vice Chief of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Office, Venerable Thích Chí Trơn, member of the Administrative Board, Vice of Culture Section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Head of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Ho Chi Minh City, Venerable Thích Trung Nguyện, member of the Administrative Council, Vice Secretary of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Office in Ho Chi Minh City, and Buddhist monks and nuns from near and far. Attending the meeting were representatives of local leaders from different departments and at various levels of local governments. Venerable Thích Chí Trơn, head of the organizing board, said at the opening, "Recently, the people in the central region have experienced 546 storms. Many people fell into the loss of relatives, homes, and they lost everything. There are people who do not have a bowl of rice to eat in extremely difficult circumstances and indescribable loss. Through the appeal of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Ho Chi Minh City Cultural Section, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha District 12 mobilized the Buddhists and the people to join hands unanimously toward the central region. The reverend monks and nuns solemnly organized a candlelit night to pray, bringing their compassionate hearts to peace of mind, praying for people in the central region to overcome difficulties soon." Speaking at the candlelit night, Venerable Thích Quang Thạnh said, "The candle lighting festival is organized to show gratitude to Bodhisattva Day with the meaning of blessing and suffering. With that vow, the hearts, the love of the Buddha, everyone heading toward the central region, praying to the Buddha for his blessings, his power, and the attention of the monks, pray as much as for the mitigation of losses from the storm and the flood in the central region. In the sacred atmosphere, the venerable monks requested the light from the Blessed One and transmitted it to monks and Buddhists. The four Bodhisattvas' prayers were recited aloud with the light of lanterns and candles throughout the shrine hall. The reverend monks and nuns and the masses spread their hearts toward people in the central region who are heavily affected by the natural disasters. The mass congregation recited the titles of Sakyamuni Buddha and GUANYIN Bodhisattva and prayed for the equanimity to the people of central Vietnam.
Typhoon number 9 is considered one of the biggest storms in the past 20 years, made for the mainland for a day and caused a lot of damage to the central region. The passing storm had dry consequence that the people of central region are struggling to bear. Realizing the difficulty, Venerable Thích Phước Nghiêm, members of the Administration Council of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, deputies of the Central Permanent Committee, the Buddhist Guide for the Other, the Centers of Buddhist Guide for the Youth Other, the Buddhist Guides of Dharma Enactment Section for the Youth Other, called the members of the two subcommittees join hands to contribute for money, material to go directly to the central region to visit health aid where they share their loss and support people to overcome the incident after storm.
November 4th, 2020, delegation went to Quảng Nam province and presented more than 200 gifts to people in flood-affected areas in Điện Nam Đông Ward, Điện Bàn Town, Quảng Nam province. At Thiện Giác Temple, the delegation also presented 50 gifts, including backpacks and learning tools to local students. Going with the delegation has Venerable Thích Huệ Vinh, Deputy Center of the Buddhist Guide of Dharma Enactment Section for the Youth Order, Deputy of the Administration Board, the Head of the Culture of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Đà Nẵng City, Venerable Thích Tâm Đạo, Club Chairman Ánh Tuệ in Hanoi, Venerable Thích Phước Huệ, Deputy Center of the Buddhist Guide for the Youth Order, Deputy Center of the Buddhist Guide of Dharma Enactment Section for the Youth Order, Section Deputy cum Chief Secretary of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Đồng Tháp Province, Venerable Thích Trí Định, Deputy Central of the Buddhist Guide for the Youth Order, Deputy the Buddhist Guide of Dharma Enactment Section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Lâm Đồng Province, with Venerables Ánh Tuệ Charity Club Hanoi, Nhật Uyển Buddhist Group, Hoa Tình Thương Club Ho Chi Minh City, Thiện Nguyện Hương Từ Club, Minh Anh Vegetarian Shop, District 5, Ho Chi Minh City, and the sponsors representatives of sponsors supported this charity trip. Each gift is given to the people, including essential necessities, and each cash envelope of 500,000 Vietnam dong. The total amount awarded in Quảng Nam is over 140 million Vietnam dong. The delegation continues to give gifts in Thừa Thiên Huế province in November 5, 2020.
The merits of portraying 500 titles of GUANYIN BODHISATTVA is very great because it is believed to dissolve the bad karma, destroy evil spirit, help speed up mind and body. The one in Greek, VINH by name, whose great deed of suffering and beyond the thought. Therefore, today, at the pagoda or Petrus temple, the monastery and the monk usually holds a monthly portrations of 500 name application of the GUANYIN BODHISATTVA on February 19 June and June 9 of the lunar calendar. To obey the teachings of Most Venerable Thích Trí Lành, rectors of An Lạc Temple, on the evening November 4, monks and nuns solemnly held a ceremony to pay homage to the 500 name application of the Bodhisattva Day and lit lantern to pray for the prosperity of the state, the sincerity of the people, so that the current blood natural disaster in the central region and the COVID-19 pandemic would be soon eliminated.
The ceremony was conducted according to traditional rituals. Venerable Thích Thiện Tuệ recited and prostrated 500 titles of Bodhisattva, and after each name appellation of her titles, the Master recited Namo GUANYIN Bodhisattva. Each title of Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara has a special meaning for her spirituality as well as her aspiration to save, to keep the life for all people in this world. After the ceremony of bowing to the 500 name appellations, Venerable Thích Thiện Tuệ also instructed the Buddhists in the ashrams to solemnly recite the sacred mantra of compassion and hold a lighted lantern to pray, dedicated the merit to all living beings, pray for the soonest dissolution of floods, natural disaster in the central region, the COVID-19 pandemic to be eliminated. In Bạc Liêu, the administrative board of the Buddhist Sangha of the province and the managing board of GUANYIN Bodhisattva Foundation of Bạc Liêu City solemnly held the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara ceremony in 2 days on the 3rd and the 4th of November 2020 with the participation of thousands of Buddhists from its vicinity. In witness, it was honored to have Venerable Thích Giác Nghi, member of the Administrative Council of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee cum Chief Secretary of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Phước Chí, member of the National Assembly of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Vice Chairman of the Provincial Administrative Board of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Quảng Thới, Vice of the Provincial Administrative Board of the Sangha, Manager of the Managing Board of GUANYIN Bodhisattva Foundation, and Buddhist monks and nuns in the province. In the midst of the solemn laydown, the Buddhists and the laymen respectfully offered incense to pray for national safety, to dismiss the natural disaster and pandemic, so that the people of the central region would soon stabilize their livelihood. During the ceremony, the ashram in the province alternately recited sutras and the titles of Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. Their voices were resounded throughout the space, as if her compassionate heart is infiltrating the hearts of the Buddhists, bringing peace of mind and happiness to them.
Venerable monk and nun, Buddhist lady and gentlemen, the last news has started up the quickly newsreel. Thanks for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next programs on psotv channel. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.